every ruling and every comes from God. And I believe that pastor so much. I had believed him before. So I need him to go back to his wits, and he very well knows that really for everything to do well, for everything to go by the way it's supposed to go, there has to be trust in God, and there has to be to do things, not just because of the public opinion or what other people are doing.
Richard, we'll have to move on. Spectrum, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, your name?
Hello?
Hello, your name? You're live on air. Your name?
Yeah, my name is Tolit Atia. I live and work in Gulu, but I'm in Kampala listening to. I would like to contribute. I've been listening to the good pastor, and I would like to say that I am terribly scandalized by the kind of cheap argument he's trying to put across. For God's sake, this violence was in broad daylight. There are captions of people who have confessed alliance with him. If it's talking about justice, if you seek justice, come with both hands clean. Just my learned colleague has put it. If he has the case to put across, let him allow the due course of investigation take place. Let him not come and jail him yonder on radio. Thank you very much.
Our next caller, you're welcome to Spectrum. Your name?
Spectrum, I'm Kaimba Marvin in Nasara, but I work from Kampala. Hello?
Yes, please go on.
Now, Pastor Peter Sematimba, I even wondered the kind of pastors we are having in the country. I've been trusting so much Peter Sematimba as a pastor and as a holy person. But there are people who have opened up kindly to the public, and they have announced that these people from Iraq, who returned from Iraq, are telling the whole public that the pastor gave them a lot of money to do the chaos which was in Kampala. Now how comes that a pastor is again taking information that he was not involved in the chaos? Yes, the Iraqi returnees are the one alleging that he gave them money the night before. Because remember very well that this chaos started at around 4 in the night.
All right.
Remember, sir?
Yes, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Kayemba. Spectrum, hello? Hello?
Hello, is this Spectrum?
Yes, your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Geoffrey, calling from Nasana.
Yes, you're live on air. Please go on.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Please go on.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for the chance that you've given me to contribute to the discussion there. Mr. Peter Sematimba is the one that I want to direct my question to, or rather my comment to, that despite the fact that he denies any wrongdoing of people that came from Super FM and what, I also like to state that there are people who work at that radio station. If you allow me, I'll mention a name like Mulindo Monge and his colleagues, who have programs that incite people really. I listen to them, but they incite people in political arguments and what, which could have also fueled kind of, cold heart for people. So please, since it's his radio station and these are his workers, let him try and, cool them down, let them not incite people, even though they are backed by the government or things, but let him just, for the sake of living, let him do that. Thank you.
Okay, let's take on last caller. Spectrum, hello? Hello? Your name and direct your question.
This is Francis Mafari.
Well, your line is very, very bad. I guess we'll come back straight to the studio. Okay, one final caller. Your name, sir?
Hello?
Yes, your name?
Jimmy.
Jimmy, yes. Can you switch off your radio or walk away from it?
So now, you know what happened in Kampala, eh? That regardless to electoral commission law, as the malpractice took place, but they should disqualify Sematimba because they're the one now behind those things. How can election started by 4 in the night, and yet election rule and regulation is started saying that the election should start at 7. That is official time.
Back to the studio.
So
all right, thank you, Mr. Sematimba.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate the comments from the public. I think I'm disappointed with most of the callers on one issue, and that is to be quick to make judgments before the investigations are done. I think it's very premature of them to make such strong statements before investigations are done. I'm also disappointed in the fact that perhaps they're so emotionally caught up in what's going on that they didn't listen to any of the logic that I tried to explain before. For example, let me start with this. I denounced the violence when we started this program when I came in. I denounced the violence. It was not good. I denounced it. And for the record, I've already offered myself and my party and our full cooperation to work with the police and the Electoral Commission to find out what happened. Because what happened was a disgrace to all of us and everyone involved. There are those who say that I'm behind the stuffing because my name was seen on the ballot boxes. Was ticked.
Right.
But I don't understand how they don't see the logic behind the fact that the purpose of such a rig on three polling stations out of 1,478, it does not have a mathematical advantage to the perpetrator if it is the person who's looking for votes. But it has an incredibly powerful PR advantage. And I guess it worked so well that that's what I'm fighting against right now, that I rigged. And that was the purpose of the whole exercise, to make it look like I rigged so that I am disqualified. So they're just following the tradition that started the minute that our campaign trail started. Number two, I have explained and categorically said, no one came from my radio station to go beat up people. In particular, the place that they're talking about, and I'm just saying this so that people can remember what I explained earlier. The place that I'm talking about, my polling station at Kakeka, which is where I vote from, what sense would it make for me to go to my polling station where I have support and beat up my own people?
Right. You made that point.
And I made the point, but it looks like the public, at least the callers that called in, have failed to catch that point. Number two, or number three, someone called Hassan called, and Hassan wanted me to denounce the violence. I had already done that. He didn't. I think he didn't. He hadn't heard me. He wants me to. I've talked about the people that they didn't come from Super FM to attack anyone, and he wants me to take responsibility. Well, part of the responsibility that a good leader should take is to tell the truth.
Right.
It is stupid, absolutely stupid and ludicrous to call yourself guilty when you're not guilty.
Right.
And I'm not about to do something that's stupid.
All right.
And the fact that he says he doesn't trust me as a mayor, I just want to promise you, my brother, that you will trust me, because when I win this position, before the 11th of March, when I win it, I'm going to do such a good job. You will call me up one day. I'm sorry I said what I said, because I'm going to do a very good job for you and for this city. As for my brother Richard, who said that as a Christian I should do the right thing and ask God forgive me, well, Richard, I am doing the right thing. One of the right things that a Christian does is to tell the truth.
All right, thank you.
There are allegations about Iraqi returnees having received money the night before from you. You may want to respond to that.
The allegations of the guys coming from Iraq, I do have some guys that came in from Iraq that approached us, that wanted to help us protect the vote, so to speak, to protect the vote in case we got attacked or something like that. Right. Because like all camps do, there is pre-voting, what's the word?
Preparations?
No, more than preparations. We use it in corporate, in the corporate world, where espionage. There's espionage. There's spying. So you kind of get to know what's going to happen with who these guys are meeting at this place. They're planning to do this. These guys are planning to do that. So when you hear that guys are getting ready to attack you, of course you want to make sure that you have someone to protect you should you be attacked.
So you actually had groups that were ready to protect you.
I had people that were ready to protect me.
Let's talk about, we had some...
Can I just quickly make a quick response to what the pastor said?
Very quickly, yes.
The pastor is a very smart person. I don't know what he's doing in politics. Perhaps he's too smart for politics.
We need some better leadership than we've had in Kampala.
What's the meaning of that statement?
I can tell you
that all politicians are stupid. Is that what he's saying?
No, I don't use the word stupid.
I want us to say
but I do think that you're too smart for politics.
This guy.
Because you don't seem to know the game.
All right, let's move on to something else. Mr. Opio, I have to cut you.
You're benefit of your own success.
I have to cut you short, Mr. Opio. Let's look at some messages that we got through the text service. Someone is saying, I'll read only some of them. Some of them are outrageous. Pastor is just denying the opposition guy's eye opener was the full boxes at 8 a.m. How come that your agents had not told you that voting started abnormally early? That's one thing. Somebody else is saying, this is Does Sematimba deny people arrested by Red Top, Toto in Chirika? That's not very clear to me. Somebody says Sematimba wasn't at the scene, but wants us to believe him instead of the reporters at the scene. Is he real? Somebody else says it's rather unfortunate that the son couldn't, that's not very clear to me, that the son couldn't be as perfect at the game as his father. Shame on you, Pastor. That sounds a little bit crude. Dr. Mkoche from Kagadi Hospital. Sematimba is a disgrace to born again. He must resign. I think that's a little bit too strong. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have read it probably, but it's from Dr. Mkoche in Kagadi Hospital. He says, the one that I pick out says, how come that your agents had not told you that voting started abnormally early? Did someone call you and say voting started a bit early?
No, no one told me about that. When I did I voted early. I voted about 8 o'clock. And I went back to my gym and I started working out on the stationary bike while I was watching TV. And then I got to hear about stuff happening. And in watching it, I then got on the phone and started making phone calls, find out what's this going on, and so on and so forth. My people were as surprised as were the people of the Electoral Commission, as were the police, because this thing was set up. Now, there are those who don't want to believe it for obvious reasons, and perhaps I shouldn't be surprised that many people don't want to believe it because, generally speaking, Kampala City historically has been an opposition center, and when things like this happen, I should expect this kind of reaction.
If I can just quickly, I think that we are focusing on the pastor and other contestants unfairly. I'm not apportioning the blame where it should be.
All right, okay.
Where was the EC when all this was happening? Where was the police when all this was happening?
Well, it's definitely
How did ballot papers get in the hands of private people?
Okay.
Very good question.
In the interest of time, we really can't go in. So one official was here. She said during the presidential election, they sent out ballot papers and boxes late on the day of polling, and people began to vote sometimes, in some cases, as late as midday. So this time they dispatched them in advance, and some people had access to them. Their own official, their own presiding officers gave them to some people who stuffed them. So these were genuine ballot papers, were not from Nasser or, counterfeits. They were genuine, but somebody stole them, and some presiding officers are in jail for that. But listeners, I need to mention that we are going to invite all mayoral candidates to respond to this particular topic. We had Honorable Mabike earlier this week, and we have Peter Sematimba tonight. We'll invite all the other candidates. There are 6 in all. They will all come to this show to give us their perspective. We have to end here, though.
Maybe just to clarify, I'm not a candidate in the mayoral race. I'm only here
because you're an analyst. And as an analyst, I'd like to ask you very, very briefly, because we're trying to review the week very briefly. What kind of NRM do you think we are going to see in 30 seconds over the next 5 years? Is it an accommodative NRM, the old one where everybody fits in there, or is it going to be winner takes all?
Well, you see, that's speculative. But that if I can tell you my
you're an analyst.
Yeah, but I don't want to speculate. I don't speculate.
Analysts sometimes forecast.
I'm not a foreteller, but I can tell you the fact is they have the majority. I don't think there's going to be any attempt to reach out to the opposition to join government.
You don't think the NRM is going to reach out to the opposition?
To join government.
So it's going to be winner take all?
It's going to be an NRM government.
Let's look at Libya.
The only opposition that will be in the NRM are people like Sebagala, who joined the bus early.
So if
those who want to join later, I may not get
too late, you won't
bus.
be able to. The conductor will not see you. Let's talk about Libya on fire. Where do you think it's going to end? Several towns have seceded, so to use the word, it's a strong word, but where do you think it's going to end?
The writing is on the wall. Gaddafi's days are numbered. Gaddafi's days are numbered, and so are the days of all African dictators.
Yes.
Especially those who have been in power for over 30 years.
Oh, so the
and are entrenching family rule.
So we should talk about 30 years. Anything below that?
I mean, African dictators is the keyword.
Well, on that
and those who are entrenching family rule. Because see, Ben Ali fell because he was entrenching family rule. Mubarak did the same thing because he was fronting his son. Libya is the same thing. Gaddafi is fronting his sons to take over the country. You entrench family rule, however developed the country, however good social, networks are in the country, people are going to revolt against you.
Maybe you should have taken the British model. You have a queen who doesn't get involved in politics. Gaddafi is already king of kings anyway. We can't get into the depths of that. Thank you very much indeed, our guest, Mr. Peter Sematimba, NRM Mayor aspirant. Thank you, sir, for coming to Spectrum tonight. Like I mentioned, we are going to invite all the other candidates. Already, Honorable Michael Mabike has been here. The others will also come. Mr. Nicholas Opio, legal consultant, not a forecaster. Thank you for coming on to Spectrum tonight.
Thank you very much, and good evening, listeners.
Thank you for tuning in. My name is Edmond. Kizito. I've been your host.
And my name is Sematimba Peter. I'm still looking for your vote. God bless you all.
We'll be back on Monday.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90. Watch it on your PC or cell phone now. On your PC, go to radio1fm90.com. Choose Spectrum Video.